All right. All right, so hi everybody, I'm Analicia Larson. I created this past January, I started working on my company, Working Women Design Company. This company is a clothing brand actually designed for women in agriculture and other male-dominated industries. I actually had the privilege of competing in the EagleWorks competition at the beginning of this year, and where I was able to gain exposure and capital for my startup business. Now, since then, I have been able to create new designs, test out and improve my current designs that I have, and then create conversation within the industry about my products. Now, I'm super excited because I have been seeking out manufacturers in the US for my products. However, I have not established one currently. But with all my designs, they focus on being comfortable, affordable, functional, all while being consistent with the current fashion trends. I have reinvented the traditional designs of clothing to make them just better off for the active working women. Now, the ag industry as a whole has changed drastically and has improved within the past several years. And I truly think it's about time that the clothing industry, especially the workwear clothing industry, does the same. So that is what my business is here to do. And with that being said, I welcome any questions that you guys have.
Jesse, we'll start out with you.
I might have two questions this time. We'll see. Okay, so why do you think the larger companies haven't transitioned into making clothes like this already? And have you potentially thought about partnering with local Tennessee businesses in terms of dyes and things like that that already exist?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. I think that the ag industry in general accounts for less than 2% of the population. This population tends to, in my opinion, get overlooked just because they are such a small community in regards to the entire population. So I think that could be a reason why people really haven't targeted this community of people, just because of the size of it. To be honest, if you're not in the industry, I can see how it is easy to overlook these individuals. That is the sad truth. Now, obviously, I support American farmers. I support American-based companies. I want to keep my company made in the US. It's very important to me. And if that means that it is local, that is great. I've actually been looking at manufacturers out of the Nashville area because there are some great ones over there. And I've heard just by some people, some connections that they have. However, I am also from Michigan, so I have also been looking at manufacturers in that region. Regardless, as long as it's in the US, whether that be in Tennessee, Michigan, California, I am willing to use that.
Pete?
You done? Yeah, I'm just curious of have you interacted with Farm Her or Women in Ag or some of the other groups in terms of market building?
So I have recently had a discussion with one of my professors actually here at Tech, and he's encouraged me to and gave me a few connections to reach out to women in agriculture communities. So I do have that on the prospective list of things to do. And that is going to be one of the next steps because again, like women in agriculture, that is who my market is. And of course, I'm going to try to reach out to them. Now I have been able to, with my own network and my own communities that I have here at Tech and in the working industry that I've been a part of, I have had conversations and have been developed a relationship and have been gearing my products towards the feedback that I have been given.
Good. How many folks have you gotten feedback from?
I'm at this point around 150.
Okay.
I conducted a survey at the beginning of the year, which gave me one-on-one connection. I did talk to these ladies and asked, what do you want? What can I change? And they gave me some awesome feedback. 83% of them even admitted that there just wasn't enough brands on the market right now. So they feel very underserved, and that's what I'm here, and that's why I'm continuing on with this business.
And is that pocket placement was one thing you had in your video, or
yes,
or what were the drivers of saying? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know women's fashion at all.
Yeah, I know.
If you go to Tractor Supply and there's Carhartts, is it what is the what was the big things that they said we wish we had?
So Yeah, so the overall fit, the waist was a huge issue with people where it was placed, the fabrics that it was made out of, the durability in general, and then of course the pockets. The pockets were huge. Like I would say that was the number one issue that people had. I had several women actually saying that they were wearing men's pants. So because of the pockets. Now, could you imagine wearing a pair of women's pants? You know, like our bodies are different. Like women shouldn't have to be wearing men's clothing just to be able to do their job.
Yep.
Randy?
Yeah, and I did notice that Tractor Supply and now even Co-op have clothing lines inside the store. So there obviously is a market for that. So I think you're onto something there. Have you checked with prospective distributors like Co-op and Tractor Supply and those kind of folks? I'm just thinking as far as finding financing and
Yeah.
companies that would produce your products. If you have a distribution network established, that would be a great plus in terms of heading out. So have you been able to check and see if there's what kind of outlets you would be using?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do a lot of field research. So I go shopping. I don't really buy anything, but I do research. So I did visit the Tractor Supply here in Cookeville one day, and because I wanted to see, like, is this even a thing? So I went in there and I had asked, I said, could you please direct me to your women's wear? And the woman gave me one rack. And if anybody's been in the Tractor Supply, 90% of it, or excuse me, a good 25% of the store is clothing.
Yeah.
And 90% of it, unfortunately, is for men. And so I had a discussion with her. Now, she isn't a manager. She isn't the owner. She was just an individual who works there. She's just the store clerk. And I had asked, is there anything more? And she goes, well, no, this is it. This is all we have in person. So Tractor Supply has definitely been one of the stores I'd like to reach out to when I'm at that step, because there really is not much in their stores right now. And I see that as a huge opportunity. Same with some local stores, like local co-ops. I would like to reach out here in Tennessee and by my hometown. I do have a few stores there that I'd like to reach out to, but also like Rural King in the Midwest, and of course your outdoor stores. People don't really think of those traditionally. However, they are big and there isn't a lot of ag related clothing in there. So it might be a good opportunity to get in there.
Yeah, and your boutique lines probably would really fit into some of those areas as well.
Yes. Yes. And I figured those two would be great for actual local boutiques.
Yeah.
However, those items too are really good to sell online through Instagram, like all the social platforms, to link to a website, which I've been currently working on, and even shops like Etsy. That is also too a good market for those products as well.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, that is time for Analicia.